Hey, 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 hey! Our MC is in fact a Newcastle man and has a long track record of knowing Nina from that early stage. I think they learned a lot about the nightlife there in the early stage. Now, we were somewhat taken aback when Nina announced she was going to become a chartered surveyor. Didn't look like my Nina at all. So it was confusing. A misty, murky time surrounded us all, and then suddenly the master plan became clear. Clearly, she wasn't planning to do her graduate training in drizzly London, but in Gay Paris, because Knights Frank had an office there. And off she went to Gay Paris, and so started her European education and fun. Now, we should point out, as we probably all know from the television series they now have called Emily in Paris. Actually, Nina was there first, of course, that's quite clear. And it wasn't all about just croissants and cafes, and I hope the opera and the theatre, Nina, I presume so. But she very soon discovered the TGV, the Trans Grand Beat, which I was so happy that she discovered, and that brought her frequently, and I was found positioning myself on the platform of the Antibes station waiting for the TGV from Paris to arrive. And Nina arrived for the sunny weekends, frequently and a great deal. In fact, the year prior to her, or 2 years prior to her taking up that particular posting in Paris, she had spent a summer sailing as a crew member, learning how to sail, although her mother Rosie had, of course, already taught her how to sail in a very stringent and very tough way, no doubt. I think they circumnavigated the British Islands anti-clockwise, which the girls weren't that happy with that, but clearly they learned about sailing. But in the meantime, Nina managed to land up on Borkenburg 4, which is a 59-meter traditional antique schooner, and she was quite privileged and lucky to be under one of the finest captains in the Mediterranean at that time. And she was a committed sailor and crew member, we thought, working hard on the winches. Then she let slip that actually her main function was to, when the owner's elderly wife came on board, which was at least 1 week of the entire summer, her function was to swim in front of her to be the bait for the medusa or the jellyfish. So Nina, you're a bit under threat here, whether it's true or not. Anyway, it so happens that boat was taken over by the crew of the previous year's America's Cup winner, and they sailed, and Nina was privileged to sail under them for, I think, a week or so around Saint-Tropez area. In fact, another story during that time, we had borrowed my brother's boat and we were cruising back to the marina and decided to stop for breakfast off the islands of Cannes. Ricky, you'll remember it well because you were with us. And what happened whilst we were preparing our breakfast, the French gendarmerie arrived, in fact the naval version of the aggressive French police, who are both tax collectors, surveyors of whether your safety equipment on board the boat is in one piece, and whether you're swindling VAT on your importation of the boats into the European area. So we were clearly going to be confronting a significant fine. This was going to be an expensive morning. And we sat down, it was Rick and I, and these lovely French, okay, so the French people here, they were really, they were like the other people, that off with their head was their idea. And it was going really quite badly. And at that precise time, now remember we'd just been in Saint-Tropez and Nina had been shopping at the bikini shop. But at that particular moment, from down below deck, Nina appeared into what was a frosty atmosphere and said, "Oh, can I help?" I sort of scribbled and didn't quite know what to say. And she sat down, and the French gendarmes, they obviously also noticed she sat down. And within about 10 minutes, Nina suggested that I should maybe go down and make some coffee. Well, I did that, peeked up now and again to see how things were progressing, and well, they seemed to be going differently to how they were when I was there. And so the result was I took some more time to make the coffee, and then Julie arrived, and they seemed to have changed the subject completely. And within a relatively short term of time, I figured out that I wasn't really needed. And within 15 minutes, these two burly, aggressive collectors of primarily my money departed the boat and said, Nina, have a wonderful holiday in France. Do come back again, and tra-la-la. So I clearly at that time figured out that she had persuasive skills that I, as a father, had not really appreciated very much. Anyway, time moved on, and what then happened was that her employer, Knights Frank, finally caught on that their errant surveyor in Paris, was she really contributing, and they recalled her to London, to their London office, at which stage Nina confided in me that London office and smelly old dusty warehouses wasn't the way she thought her life was going to work out. And I thought, all these years of studying, I couldn't quite work it out. Anyway, in due course, it seemed that she'd had enough, and her entrepreneurial skills came out, and she started a little company, we always say little in the beginning, called Little Delivery, and that was like an online portal for things to supply to the children of the world. And I thought, I wonder how this can have a happy ending. And it went on, and then one day I happened to be sitting in Cape Town and turned on Sky News, and there, lo and behold, was Nina, outside the Lindo wing, where Kate had just given birth to the gorgeous Prince George. I think he's primarily gorgeous because he was wearing one of Nina's romper suits. And the wording across the top was, "Keep calm, my granny is the queen." And I thought to myself, sure, this might not be necessary. This is not going to need a bailout at all. So Nina seemed to have cracked that one, and life went on. Having said that, ultimately, the bottom line is she was yearning for a different career path altogether, which was a bit disappointing, having built up this one. And then she sort of had that sunny look in her eyes, and she managed to sell the business Little Delivery. And then she said, "Dad, I'm coming." And I said, "You're not coming, you're not, definitely not South Africa." And well, she said, "Well, actually, I'm at the airport." So I sort of got to the airport. She said, "Bring a big car." I thought, what does that mean? And there she was standing with a whole lot of suitcases. And I realized that actually any time or chance I had of trying to influence any of this was long past. And so Nina arrived in South Africa. And here, Nina has created a fantastic life with terrific friends, most of whom are here today. And it's been my pleasure to have met you over these past years. And it's been a wonderful, and I've been a very fortunate father to have my youngest daughter here living in the town with me, privileged as I am. And so she was successfully starting the business called Cape Concierge, which is now the Cape Town, the go-to support team for the Cape Town's increasing expatriate community and our burgeoning tourist season. And she's really, I have to say, well, she's done pretty good. And of course, that's primarily because at the very heart of Nina lies a very competitive spirit. And this is the time when this plan lands upon Sam. Because Sam is unquestionably the most competitive man I have ever met, without fail. And when Sam met Nina, the plan seemed to sort of go better. And so I come therefore to say that Nina and Sam have undoubtedly met their match. Whether that be tennis, skiing, kiteboarding, sailing, whatever sport it is, if there's a ball involved, they do it. If there's water involved, they do it. If there's snow involved, they do it. So this is a journey that they are starting today. And today, therefore, is the time for me to say, Sam, it is with huge, warm enthusiasm that I welcome you, Oscar, and Pandor to our family. I consider that we are fortunate that we are able to join together, and I can only say how much I look forward to sharing and joining in your future together. So finally, I don't know just finally, but the most important thing is that finally to wrap this up. Did you tell the BBC to come again? No. So just really to wrap it up, Rosie and I would like to say, Nina, thank you. You've been a wonderful daughter, and we look forward to a happy future for you and Sam and your family together. Thank you very much indeed. Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks, Søren. So now we're going to... You can have a drink. A different generation. Two very special people, Oscar and Panda, who Sam would like me to refer to as the best boy and the best girl. And I think we're going to hear from the best girl first.
Gosh, okay, there's a lot of people. Thank you so much, Søren. That was an amazing speech. I don't know how I'm going to top that one. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Panda, the daughter of the groom. And for those of you who don't know my brother, I'm sure you're not surprised that I only feel the need to say a few words. Firstly, thanks for everyone for coming today, and so many have come from so far, literally the other side of the world. I am only here to introduce my brother, the best man, but of course I had to say a few words first. Dad, you are literally the most amazing father, and I won't boost your ego too much, but thank you for being yourself. No matter what, and always putting us first. And Nina, who looks incredible today. I could not be luckier, and I can't wait to make so many more memories with you. I love you both so much, and congratulations. This is a really special day for all of us. Now, over to the best man, my brother, Oscar Price.
Thank you for that, Panda.
I'd like to start off by saying how wonderful you look, Nina.
Yes! Yes!
Quite honestly, Dad, I still don't know how you pull this one off. It's looking great for my prospects later on in life. Sport is a huge part of mine and Dad's relationship. I think Nina knows what's coming next. So Dad thought it would be a good idea for me to meet Nina while doing something sporty. He chose golf. Which brings me to the first hole of the Wolverhampton golf course. The three of us stepped up to the first tee to take our drive. First, it was obviously me, piping one down the middle of the fairway, almost landing on the green, obviously. Next, it was Dad, who hit a boomerang slice straight into the other fairway. Then it was Nina. Where am I? God, lost it. Where am I? Then it was Nina's turn to set up to the tee, who, by the way, was dressed like a proper golfer, so I was expecting some real magic. I couldn't have been more wrong. She takes her swing, rips the cover off the ball, and smashes it straight into the fence next to her. It pings backwards, heading straight for me and Dad's shins. Instead, it went flying into the car park behind, barely missing some windshields. Oh God, it was funny. Nina looked behind, most likely in shock, only to find Dad and I rolling around on the floor in laughter like a bunch of children. To this day, I have never ever seen anyone hit a ball 100 yards backwards. I mean, that might possibly have been the best icebreaker of all time. After that, I knew she was going to fit into the family like a glove. Blonde, blue eyes, and very questionable at golf. Being a Price was inevitable. Now, to the legendary yet sweaty red-faced man who is my father. My dad isn't like most dads. He's the kind of dad who takes you to festivals and starts mosh pits with you. His new home is Cape Town, and I couldn't be happier about that. It's also a strange move for a man who sweats in peak winter in the UK. I mean, we climbed Table Mountain some time ago, and literal steam was coming off his head. I think he created his own microclimate. Anyway, enough about his core body temperature. Pad and I couldn't be more happy that you guys are getting married. Oh, got married actually. We are so looking forward to what the future holds for both of you. And I can speak for both of us when I say coming to visit will always be the highlight of our year. Nina, your family has welcomed both Panda and I with open eyes, despite Soren still putting me in my place on the paddle court. You still do. Slightly embarrassing, actually. Finally, Dad, I will always look up to you, and you really have been my idol throughout my entire life. So thank you very much. Congratulations, Dad and Nina.
Okay. Back soon.
That's it for now. Carry on.
Okay.